The journey back to truth. Welcome back to the EmpowerX experience. Today, we're going to be talking not about theories, trends, or surface level motivation, but about truth, the deepest, most powerful, most disruptive force in personal transformation is truth. Truth is the foundation of this entire EmpowerX program. Truth is the engine of change. Truth is the spark of authenticity. Truth is the beginning of purpose. Truth is the alignment that makes the rest of our lives finally make sense. Before we can get to where we need to go, we need to get to where we need to start. And EmpowerX understands that. The program that I designed, I built that with that understanding that before we can move on to where we want to be in our lives, we need to get back to a starting point because we're not at a starting point. If we just pick up where we are now, we're continuing with the limiting beliefs, we're continuing with the negative programming, we're continuing with all that. We need to get back to our start, our truth, our authentic self. And the starting point, it's not out there, it's in here. Every person who walks through the EmpowerX journey discovers the same thing. Life, as they always wanted, wasn't missing tools. Let me say that a little differently. The life that they always wanted, the life that they thought was out there, they weren't missing the tools for it. They weren't not setting the right goals. They weren't not doing the right things. It wasn't missing opportunities. It wasn't missing talent, intelligence, or luck. It was missing alignment, the alignment with their true purpose. And that alignment begins with truth. Today, we're going to tear away the noise, challenge the stories you've lived with for years, and guide you towards the clarity, identity, and authenticity that every one of us needs to thrive. This is the work that changes all of us. So I want you to think about a second why the world is drowning in noise. You can't live a life of purpose in a world engineered to distract you from yourself. Every day you're surrounded by noise, cultural noise, emotional noise, digital noise, generational noise, social noise, performance noise. Noise that tells you be more, do more, achieve more, fit in, stay small, don't take risks, don't stand out, live like everybody else. But here's the truth. You are not designed to be a copy of anyone else. You are not supposed to be a copy of somebody else's life. You are an original. Modern life pulls us outward. The EmpowerX program and understanding the concepts of it, the 4 pillars, the 11 frames, it pulls us inward. Because the answers you've been searching for are not out there in the world. They are inside of you, buried under layers of garbage that you never asked for. Those layers create the greatest conflict in human experience, the conflict between who we are expected to be and who we really are. This conflict is why people feel overwhelmed. They feel stuck, lost, unfulfilled, and disconnected from their purpose. This conflict is why success feels empty and why progress often feels like a struggle. Alignment is not possible while you're living somebody else's script. To find your truth, you must first understand the noise that is hiding it. The stories we inherit and why they're told to us, who knows? Everybody has their own agenda. It's not always a nefarious one. Sometimes they think they're doing what's right for us because they think it was what's right for them. They think they made a mistake and they want to try and defer us from that mistake and lead us onto some other path. Sometimes it is nefarious. Regardless, if it is not something that is in alignment with who we are, that's not the message that we want to be taking in. Every person carries an invisible set of beliefs. It's shaped by childhood, culture, religion, family, education, social environment, life experiences. Those inherited stories become the lens through which we see everything, through which we see ourselves, others, opportunity, risk, potential, success, and worthiness. It's all a lens that somebody else created, a bunch of somebody's created that we see life through. It's limiting us, okay? Think of it as a very dirty windshield, okay? And you've gotten so used to squinting to see through it, you don't realize that it's dirty, that it is obstructing the real path, it is obstructing where you really need to be. Because here's the problem. Most people never question that lens. They never say, hey, you know what? That lens is getting dirty. I can't see where I'm supposed to be going. That's because you were taught what success looks like before you ever asked yourself what success feels like. You were taught what you should want before you knew who you were. You were taught what is possible before you understood your own potential. These inherited stories became limiting beliefs that shaped your choices, shaped your confidence, your identity, your destiny. Empower X begins by putting those beliefs on the table, not to judge them, not to evaluate them, because what you inherited is not always what you need. I want you to ask yourself, which beliefs did I accept without ever examining them? Which beliefs limit my growth, my voice? Which beliefs limit my authenticity? Which beliefs once served me, but no longer fit the person I am becoming? Which beliefs belong to other people, not me? This is the first moment of awakening in Empower X, realizing that you have the power and the responsibility to choose what stays and what goes. You cannot build a powerful life on a foundation you did not choose. Truth requires choice. Choice requires clarity, and clarity requires courage. Most people avoid truth not because they fear the truth itself, but because they fear what the truth might require of them. Truth demands accountability. Truth demands change. Truth demands ownership. Truth demands growth. But it also gives us something in return. It gives us freedom. It gives us real freedom. The moment you look in the mirror and you see yourself clearly and you see your purpose for your life begins. Not the life you were pressured into, not the life you settled for, not the life you inherited, but your life of purpose, the life you were intended to lead, the life you were created for, with all the gifts that were endowed upon you. That life becomes clear. Courageous, self-honesty. That's your first step. It's the first it's the first pillar of growth in the Empower X journey is honesty. Honesty and authenticity. Courage isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's the moment you admit what isn't working. It's the moment you acknowledge what you truly want. And a lot of times that's difficult. It's hard to get rid of all that baggage that has been guiding our lives for two reasons. First of all, it's easy to lean upon it because it's built up. Second, because it challenges our belief. It challenges us to say, what have I been doing all these many years? Why wasn't I doing the right thing? It's not your fault. And don't look at it that way. Consider that by discarding what doesn't work for you, what's not right for you, you are becoming the person you are supposed to be. It's the moment you acknowledge what you truly want. It's the moment you stop negotiating how to get to where you need to be, how to get to where you want to be, how to get to where everybody else seems to think you want to be. It's the moment you stop hiding from your real potential, from your real purpose. Every breakthrough in Empower X begins with one sentence. I am ready to tell myself the truth. Because you know what? You can lie to anybody else and they can believe it, but you cannot lie to yourself. If you're not living the life of purpose that you were created for, you're lying to yourself. And if you lie to yourself, it's going to end up badly. It's going to end up with health problems. It's going to end up with emotional problems. It's going to end up with relationship problems. You need to be honest with yourself and you need to live the life that you were created for. Repeat that after me. I am ready to tell myself the truth and believe it. Okay. And we're going to get to a point where you know what that truth is, because the truth is inside you. It's not what I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you how to find that truth on your own, because the truth liberates, the truth clarifies, truth reclaims your identity, and truth activates your power. Authenticity, it's not a brand, it's not a personality trait. It is your original design. It is the blueprint that you were born with before life covered it up. When you strip away all those layers of fear, expectation, approval seeking, comparison, perfection, cultural conditioning, everything, you meet the core of who you truly are. Authenticity is alignment between your inner world and your outer life. Authenticity is the end of pretending. It's the end of pleasing, the end of forcing, the end of living at war with yourself, living with conflict with yourself. When you restore authenticity, you restore power. Your inner voice grows louder. Your decision-making becomes clearer. Your boundaries, they become stronger and clearer. Your purpose becomes undeniable. People spend years chasing success, not realizing that authenticity is the missing multiplier. If you don't already know, the X, EX, and Empower X, it stands for exponential. Exponential is a multiplier. Success is multiplied exponentially, and not just success in your finances, but success in your relationships, your emotional health, your career, everything that is part of your life that you apply this to. Success, everything. Authenticity is that missing multiplier. Authenticity amplifies everything positive, and remarkably, it shines a light on all those things that aren't. And bad things live in darkness, good things live in light. When you show up as who you really are, without apology, without dilution, without compromise, your life begins moving. Opportunities find you, people respect you, purpose guides you, clarity strengthens you, peace surrounds you. Authenticity is the foundation for emotional, spiritual, relational, and financial alignment. Remember, this is about alignment. When we are aligned, we find those successes. They come to us organically. We don't have to work at making them happen. We need to work at everything, but we don't have to work hard. They happen. We're able to see our path more clearly, not just the path where we're going, but our path to a better relationship, our path to a stronger career, our path to financial success, our path to physical wellness and health, our path to better everything. We're able to see that with more clarity because we're not seeing it through somebody else's lens. We're not seeing it through that dirty windshield. Alignment means that your thoughts, your choices, your behaviors, your relationships, your goals and habits all point the same direction, the direction for whom you really are. They are all aligned with your purpose, and your purpose is who you are in life. Most people are misaligned and they don't even realize it. Their goals are based on fear, their career is based on expectation, their relationships are based on history, their habits are based on survival. Their identity is based on outside opinions. Their identity is based upon what they think other people think of them or will think of them, and what they think they want other people to think of them. And then they wonder why everything feels so complicated or out of reach. It's because they're not being authentic. They're not being who they are. Alignment is the shift that makes everything fit. Alignment helps you stop forcing. It helps you stop second guessing. It helps you stop fighting against yourself. It helps you stop needing validation from everybody else to move forward. When you stop needing validation from everyone else around you, and you know your honest path that you need to follow, when you don't listen to what everybody else is telling you, you have the ability to plot your own course. You have the ability to see things clearly through your own lens. I'm not saying don't get advice from anybody. I'm not saying don't just crawl up in your own little world. There's absolutely a place for seeking out advice. There is a place for mentorship. There is a place for speaking to somebody who will listen to you and help maybe tweak what you're doing. But don't let anybody program you. Don't let anybody tell you who you need to be or what you need to be. In the EmpowerX program, people say that alignment feels like things just start falling into place. And they do. I can tell you from my own experience, and I can tell you from the many lives that I have seen change through EmpowerX, things just start to fall into place. And it's a wonderful feeling, and it is an amazing thing to witness. And it's not magic. It's clarity. It's the clarity of authenticity. Clarity creates that momentum, and then momentum creates progress. Progress creates purpose. Purpose, it brings us fulfillment. Alignment turns our life from struggle to flow. And once we live in alignment, once you live in alignment, the whole ecosystem of your life changes. Your relationships shift towards healthier connections. Your emotional life becomes stable and grounded. Your health improves because your stress decreases. Your career gains direction and meaning. Your finances grow organically because you make aligned decisions instead of reactive ones. Your confidence rises because you finally trust yourself. Alignment is not a goal. Alignment is the birthplace of every goal. Remember, we started this off with, before you get to where you need to go, you need to get to where you need to start from to get there. That is your alignment with your authenticity, with your own truth. People often ask why EmpowerX creates such rapid and dramatic breakthroughs. It's because we don't start at the symptoms and we don't pick up from where you are now. We start at the source. Most people try to change their life by changing their behaviors, but behavior is the final layer. It's the outer expression. Behavior is what got you to where you are right now that needs to be, for whatever reason, you feel better. At the deepest level, true transformation comes from identity, beliefs, thoughts, emotions, actions, and results. And PowerX starts at identity because when identity shifts, the entire chain shifts with it. When your identity becomes about truth and authenticity and being true to who you are, not just being a truth teller, but being true to who you are, your entire life starts to shift. It starts to fall into place. It starts to fall into the groove that you were meant to be in from the very beginning. And PowerX participants often discover that the moment they reconnect with their inner truth, everything else in their life aligns naturally. I tell people when they're starting out in the PowerX program, choose just one thing, choose just one goal, set it and focus on that. It can be physical health, it can be your diet, it can be relationship, it can be your job, it can be anything. Choose just one and just give it a little bit of focus. What happens is they see powerful results, exponentially powerful results. And that one thing that they're focusing on, they realize they don't have to focus that much on it. Things start falling into place on that one aspect. And then they realize, you know what? I can apply exactly the same concepts, the same thoughts, the same premises, the same honesty and authenticity to everything in my life and see and realize the same results that I'm seeing with just this one test goal that I put. They end up not chasing approval. They end up not needing it from anybody else. They don't need somebody else patting them on the back saying, you're doing a good job, because you know what? They know what they're doing and they don't care because they're happy. They know that they're living a life of purpose. What usually ends up happening is people come to them and they say, hey, I've seen a huge change in your life. What is it that's made you different? What is it that you found that I can tap into? I want one of those pills. That's how people start sharing in PowerX. And that is what we want. We want as many people in this world to understand the EmpowerX concept, but to understand who they are, where they need to be, and how to live a life of purpose based upon the greatness that we were all created for and what was given to us, the blueprint that was given to us, following that, not following somebody else. So they stop chasing approval. They stop choosing to worry about things. They stop repeating old sabotaging cycles, the things that don't work, the things that drag them down. They stop because they realize that's not serving me. They stop settling for less than the life they're capable of, and they stop settling for less in life. And in PowerX, you rebuild your life from the inside out, not with hype, but with clarity, structure, alignment, and identity work. This is why the transformations are real. This is why the transformations are lasting and powerful. This is something that you will have for your entire life. If you fall into alignment and you follow your purpose, and there's no reason why you shouldn't once you realize how to do that. This is something you will have for the rest of your life that will make your life so much greater, so much more fulfilling than trying to live it by a different dynamic, somebody else's dynamic. You need to live it based on your own dynamic. At the core of this program, the one profound truth is you don't need to become someone else to change your life. You don't need to be the people that you see on Instagram and Facebook. You don't need that life. I'm not saying it's not a great life. It's usually not real, but you don't need to chase it, because once you understand who you are, it will come to you. And once you understand who you are, unless it's your business, you probably aren't going to post pictures of your food and of your vacation because it doesn't matter. You don't need that validation. You don't need those likes. You become yourself. You don't need somebody else. You only need yourself. And this program is powerful and helps you understand that all you need is yourself. Your true self, your real self, your authentic self, not the edited you, not the restricted you, not the diminished you, not the version shaped by years of pressure and limiting beliefs and other people talking in your ear, the real you, the version of you with clarity, courage, creativity, intelligence, intuition, and purpose, the version of you that already knows the way forward, the The version that knows your greatness is not something that you earn. It's something that you uncover. It's something that you do for yourself. The EmpowerX journey is remembering. It's remembering what life tried to make you forget. It's remembering what you had before you were programmed, what you used to see before you were given somebody else's lens, before you were forced to look through that dirty windshield. It's a return to your truth and a return to your identity. It's a return to you, who you really are, your purpose, your power. And once you return, nothing in your life will stay the same, and nothing in your life moving forward will be the same. Now, before we can get to where we need to go, we need to get to where we need to start. That's how we started this whole thing off. Starting point, it's truth, not external truth, internal truth. Truth about who you are, truth about what you feel, truth about what you want, truth about what you believe, truth about what needs to change. Sometimes these are hard truths for us to accept, to discuss with ourselves. But if we're being honest, it shouldn't matter, because this is our path to purpose. This is our path to alignment. Truth is about where you've been out of alignment. The truth about where you're being called. You're not going to listen to me talk to you. You're not going to be interested in EmpowerX if you don't have a calling. If you don't realize something's out of alignment, I would love to put it into alignment. I would love to see what this program is about. I would love to have a better life. Right now, you don't know because you haven't started. But if what I'm telling you sounds great, then it's resonating with you. And that means it's time to start looking at your truth. And your truth is allowing you to be called to listen to me, and it's hopefully pushing you to find your inner truth and to get to where you need to be to start for where you need to go. This is where EmpowerX, this is where the journey begins, because truth leads us to authenticity. The authenticity leads us to alignment. Our alignment leads us to purpose, and purpose leads us to transformation. That is the EmpowerX sequence. That is the EmpowerX promise. That is the EmpowerX experience. In short, you're not here by accident. You're here because something inside of you said, there's more for me. There is more to me. There is more in me. There's a reason why I'm listening to this video. There's a reason why I'm listening to what Kevin is saying. And that is because you are right. There is a vision of you waiting to be activated. A version of you waiting to be activated. A version of you that is aligned, grounded, powerful, and authentic. There's a version of you that's going to stop chasing and starts becoming the version of you who lives in clarity, the version of you that lives in purpose, confidence, and truth. That journey begins now. Welcome to EmpowerX. This is the place where you return to yourself, where you connect with purpose, where you rebuild your truth, where you will realign every part of your life, where you stop living by default and you start living by design. Let's begin. It's easy. You can visit empowerx.org. That's EMPOWEREX.org. You can also go to empower-xlife.com. That's EMPOWER-EXLIFE.com. There is free resources there. Download the framework for free. You do not have to go through a funnel. You do not have to give me your phone number, your email, anything. Download the framework. Learn more about the EmpowerX program. We are starting EmpowerX programs literally anywhere anybody wants to start an EmpowerX program. You can read more about EmpowerX by getting the book. We have a whole series of books, but the EmpowerX program, the first book, EmpowerX, is the one that is going to open your eyes to all of this. And there is a link on both of those pages for where you can read more about what is in that book and how to order it. And it's not much. I think the paperback is less than $20. As always, if you need anything, reach out to us. We are happy to point you in the right direction. We hope that you'll join us on this journey. We hope that EmpowerX will be something that you make a part of your life to help you find alignment and to help you be where you need to be, where your purpose is supposed to be taking you.